Good day, everyone. I'm your little teacher one, teacher Fatimae de ESPELITA, but you can call me Teacher Me. So, in today's lesson, we will tackle about Unit 3, the philosophy of education and personal philosophy of teaching. So now, let's define philosophy of education. Let's start on philosophy. From the word philo means love, and sophia means wisdom. And when we say philosophy, this means love of wisdom. According to Plato, philosophy is the process of constant questioning, and questioning necessarily takes the form of dialogue. So, philosophy provides the student the ability to assimilate, synthesize, criticize, and evaluate. According to Socrates, the life unexamined is not worth living. This means that without questioning about our surroundings, about this something, without examining our world, something, everyone, or even a simple happening, our life is not worth living. So this is according to Socrates. So now let's proceed on the word education. Let's define what is education. From the word education, this derived from the Latin word educate, to nourish, to raise, or to mold. So, from education, according to Webster Dictionary, education is the process of educating or teaching. The purpose of education is to develop the knowledge, skills, character of the students. So now, let's proceed on defining what is philosophy of education. From the word philosophy of education, this means that, or this is a process of solving educational problems through philosophical methods. So now, let's proceed on the nature of philosophy of education. So, philosophy of education have three branches accordingly, and so we have the metaphysics, epistemology, and axiology. So, let's start with metaphysics. Metaphysics investigate the principle of reality. It is concerned on the fundamental nature of being and the world. Epistemology studies the knowledge. It is concerned with the nature of knowledge or ways of knowing the world. And last, the axiology. Axiology is a philosophical study of value. It explores aesthetics and ethics. So now let's proceed and let's welcome teacher.
Good morning. I'm teacher CHATRINE GARCIA. Today I will tackle about the Western philosophy, which is the philosophical foundations of education. But first, let's have a quick recap about the topic of teacher May ESPELITA. According to her, the philosophy of education is a process of solving educational problems through philosophical methods. From a philosophical attitude to arrive at a philosophical conclusion and results. In short, it aims to achieve general as well as comprehensive results. So now we'll proceed to tackle about the philosophical foundations of education, which is the Western philosophies and Eastern philosophies. But I will tackle only the Western philosophy. So ano nga ba yung mga under sa Western philosophies? There are three. What are those three? The idealism, realism, pragmatism, or experimentalism. So what is idealism? Idealism is the ultimate reality in spiritual or mental. So ano nga ba yung educational focus ng idealism? It develops the mind, the spirit, and the character as well. So ano yung mga under sa teaching methods ng idealism? So under dito is like in-emphasize nito ang liberal arts and critical thinking and intellectual explorations. So what are the role of a teacher using the idealism? So the role of a teacher can be a mentor, guide, and a facilitator of intellectual growth. And that's all for idealism. So now we'll proceed to realism. Ano nga ba yung realism? So realism from the word real, it is the reality exists independently of human perception. So yung educational focuses ng realism is the understanding. Okay, yung understanding ng bawat isa and understanding the world through observation, experimentation, and reason. So that's the educational focus of realism. So ano nga ba yung mga teaching methods ng realism? So it emphasizes the scientific inquiry, empirical evidence. and objective measurements. So yan yung mga under sa teaching methods ng realism. And the role of a teacher using the realism is it can be the authority figure, expert, and guide in the scientific method. So that's the role of a teacher using the realism. So now we proceed to pragmatism, or so we call experimentalism. So ano yung pragmatism? It is the idea, okay, yung knowledge daw natin. The knowledge is derived from experience and experimentation. So, yung knowledge daw natin is nagigain natin using the experience na nangyari past or present. So, yung educational focus ng pragmatism is it develops practical skills, problem solving, and adaptability. So, yung teaching methods naman ng pragmatism or experimentalism, it is the project-based learning. Project-based learning, hands-on activities, and collaborative problem solving. So, yan yung mga under sa teaching methods na ginagamit sa pragmatism. The role of a teacher using the pragmatism or experimentalism are facilitator, coach, and co-learner. So, yan yung pwedeng maging role ng teacher using the pragmatism or experimentalism. So, overall, each philosophies form the educational approaches, teaching methods, and the role of a teacher. And that's all. Thank you.
Hi everyone! So before anything else, let me first introduce myself. I am CHRISTY MORTE, your teacher for today. And later on, I will discuss about the Eastern philosophies in education. But before we proceed on that, let me first do a quick recap about the topic of Teacher LHEILA CHATRINE GARCIA, which is the Western philosophies in education. So there are three main Western philosophies in education that shapes how teaching, learning, and knowledge are understood. So first is the idealism. It focuses on developing the mind, spirit, and character through liberal arts and intellectual exploration. So second is the realism. In realism, it emphasizes the understanding to the world through observation, experimentation, and reason with focus on scientific inquiry. So lastly is the pragmatism or experimentalism. It derives knowledge from the experience and experimentations. And it focuses on practical skills, problem solving, and adaptability. So now let us move on to my topic. So my topic is all about the Eastern philosophy in education. So there are 9 aims of philosophy. So first is the cosmological unity, behavioral ethics, relationship with religion, social integration, intuition over intellect collectivism, self-improvement, find inner self, find balance in human life, and lastly, the spiritual approach. And now let us move on their different beliefs. So first is the Hinduism. In Hinduism, they believe that everything in universe is one and connected to Brahman. Their life's goal is to reach enlightenment and break free from the cycle of birth and death. They also believe in karma, that our actions have consequences and every desire causes suffering. So next is the Buddhism. So in Buddhism, they believe that life involves suffering, which comes from desire and ego. By removing this, a person can reach nirvana, a state of peace and freedom from the cycle of life and death. They also have a 4 noble truths. First is that life is full of suffering. Suffering comes from desire. Ending desire stops suffering. And lastly, the living wisely and mindfully leads to enlightenment. So third one is the Confucianism. In Confucianism, their beliefs focuses on morality, respect, and proper behavior. It teaches people to treat others kindly, value their families, and develop a good characters. They also believe that all humans are equal at birth and goodness are learned through virtue, not through punishment. So fourth one is the Taoism. In Taoism, they believe that everything in universe follows the Tao or the way. It focuses on balance between the yin and yang, the opposite forces of nature. It values simplicity, calmness, humility, and living in harmony with natural flows in life. So lastly is the Zen Buddhism. So in Zen Buddhism, it focuses on meditation and self-discipline to gain insight into one's true nature. So they believe that enlightenment comes from the realizing that everyone already has a Buddha nature and should live with mindfulness and compassion. So now let us move on to the Christian philosophy. So in Christian philosophy, they are using reason and logic to understand truth about God. It seeks to explain faith through thinking and questioning while still believing in God's word. So for example, you as a student, you are studying hard for an exam and also praying for guidance. So technically, you are showing the Christian philosophy because you are trusting God's helps while doing your part with an effort and wisdom.
Good day everyone, I am your teacher RHIAN ORACOY from BEd 1A. So teacher Christy already tackled the Eastern philosophy wherein the goal is to attain harmony with the universe, other people, and oneself. It argues that everything is interrelated, cosmological unity, and that morality and good behavior are the hallmarks of a real wisdom. Behavioral ethics. Religion and philosophy views as collaborators in directing moral and spiritual development. And social harmony is attained by appropriate interpersonal interactions and community respect. Social integration. Each philosophy prioritizes intuitions and inner knowledge above purely rational reasoning, placing emphasis more on collectivism than individualism. She also discussed the Christian philosophy wherein it uses reasons to understand faith and life while still believing in God's truth. It both values thinking and beliefs, with thinkers like Saint Augustine seeing philosophy as support for faith, and Tertullian emphasizing that faith alone is sufficient. Let's proceed to the contemporary philosophies. First is perennialism. It focuses on timeless universal truths and principles. It emphasizes the classic educations, discipline, and intellectual rigor. Like for example, it's studying classic literatures like Shakespeare. Second is essentialism, emphasizing the acquisitions of essential knowledge and skills, focuses on the core curriculum and teaching method that promotes intellectual discipline. For example, is the phonics-based reading program. Phonics-based reading program is a method of teaching reading that focuses on decoding words and by sounding out letters and letter combination. Third is the existentialism. It emphasizes the individual's freedom and choice, focuses on personal growth, self-awareness, and subjective experiences. Like for example, is the student design project, like creating an art gallery to raise awareness about environmental issues. Fourth is progressivism, emphasizes student-centered learning, hands-on activity, and social reform. Focuses on developing critical thinking, problem-solving, and collaboration skills, like project-based learning, like student sustainable garden. The fifth is social reconstructionism, emphasizes the need for social change and reform. Focuses on addressing social issues and promoting democracy, equality, and social justice. Example is addressing issues like climate change. So let's proceed to the postmodern philosophies. Postmodernism is a challenges traditional notions of truth, reality, and knowledge. Emphasizes diversity, complexity, and ambiguity. Questions dominant narratives and power structures. Like for example is the analyzing non-traditional texts like graphic novel, spoken word poetry, and social media narratives. This philosophical perspective shapes educational approaches, teaching methods, and learning environments. Each has its strengths and limitations, and educators often draw on multiple perspectives to inform their practice.
Good day, class. I am RHIAN ARARAO, your teacher 5 in Pen 2. So first, before we're going to proceed to my topic, I will first tackle the topic of the previous teacher, which is the teacher for si Ma'am RHIAN. So her topic is all about perennialism. Focus on timeless truth and universal values, education should enter on the great ideas and classic world. Second, the essentialism. Emphasize core knowledge and skills that all students needs to become productive members of society. Third, the existentialism. Values individual choices and personal meaning. Students are free to shape their own purpose in life. Fourth, the progressivism. Learning through experience and problem-solving focuses on students' interests and active participants. 5. The social reconstructionism aims to reform society through education, encourage student to address social issues and injustice. So, natakal naman yun ni Teacher Rian. So, i-recap ko lang siya sa inyo. So, now, let's proceed to my topic. The first topic I will discuss is all about the principles and philosophy of Philippines education. Based on 1983 Philippines Constitution, Article 11, Section 17, states that the states shall give priority to education, science and technology, arts, culture, and sports to foster patriotism and nationalism, social progress, and promote total human liberation and development. Meaning, education is a top priority of a government. It should help build love for country, improve society, and develop each person fully mental and physical morality. Second, we have Article X1B, Section 1 to 2. Section 1, state shall protect and promote the rights of citizens to equality education, and all levels shall take appropriate steps to make such as education accessible to all. Second section, the state shall establish and maintain a complete and integrated system of education relevant to needs of the people and society. Meaning, every Filipino has a right to equality and accessible education. The government must provide the education system that is inclusive, relevant, and responsive to the needs of the country and its citizens. Overall, the principal education in the Philippines, it aims to develop a whole person, someone who loves the nation, value country, and contribute progress, and upholds morality and integrity. So, tinatakal siya dito is how you will love our country. The second topic is the personal philosophers of teaching. So, yung isa, principles philosophy of education. Ang second topic naman is a personal philosophy of teaching. Importance of the personal philosophy teaching. A teacher personal philosophy guides their actions, methods, and relationship with students. It defines what they believe about teaching and learning, whether the education should focus on knowledge, skills, value, and personal growth. Having a clear philosophy helps teachers stay consistent and purposeful in their activity and teaching style. Inspire students based on their own values, reflect on their practice. So, syempre, as a future educator, alam naman natin ang mga needs ng mga students to gain their knowledge. In short, your teaching philosophy is your why. Your belief about how education can change lives and shape in future. So, syempre, kasama tayo sa mga students natin sa mga futures nila. Tayo yung naghahanda sa mga futures nila. So, sample, this is the education not just because teaching lessons. It's all about building characteristics and shaping the nation guided by the principles of 1987 Constitution and strengthened by the personal philosophies as a teacher we can create, general that educated and patriotic and humane. So, that's all for my topic. So, thank you for watching and thank you for listening.